Welcome back to the Dex and Randi Show, the #1 show for going through the ups and downs of life. Stay tuned. You're coming up next. What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Dex and Randi Show. I'm your host, Dex. Excited to have you guys here back with us for not just another episode, but a monumental episode. It's our 50th episode of our podcast. We're here to celebrate. We're here to have a good time. We're here to share, talk about the ups and downs of life like we always do. We appreciate y'all. But before we get into anything, I got my co-host with me. She looking beautiful as always, absolutely gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? She glowing a little bit this morning. She just exudes success and she's just so special. You know what I mean? She's been special since the day that I met her. You know what I mean? What's up, man?
You're too kind.
I'm too real. I'm being honest, man. You a star.
Goodness. Well, thank you. I received the compliments. You look nice as well.
Do I?
You do.
Okay.
You do. Your hair's fresh.
Oh,
you know,
well.
Got the fresh clip.
All right, well, let's keep the camera on the hair. We ain't got to go too far down. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hello, everyone. I am Randi, and I'm the co-host of the Dex and Randi Show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Episode 50.
Episode.
Out of nowhere, yo. Episode 50. But before we jump into any of that, what's our sponsors, baby?
Our sponsor for our 50th episode is Basden Accounting LLC. BASDEN Accounting LLC, the #1 accounting advisory payroll tax company to help you with all of your needs, even more needs outside of that. Okay, if you have a business and you need a team of advisors, you need a team of accountants, you need a team of tax planning, you need to reach out to Basden Accounting LLC because they got you. Yeah, I just want to say, oftentimes with business, we don't know. Well, let me just say, a lot of our clients were in a place where they had nobody else doing what they were doing. So when it came to making decisions, they felt all alone. So Basden Accounting helps with that. And you don't have to be all alone. You have a group of people here to support you, get behind your vision, and really help you make the impact that you want to have with whatever industry that you're in. So, yeah.
And reach out to Basden Accounting.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you how to get to us.
Thank you. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? We got to let you know how to. You guys are listening like, oh, I want to work with Basden Accounting, but how do I get to them?
Yes. It's BasdenAccounting.com. BASDEN accounting.com. And if you want to know who you'll be working with, part of the team, you're listening to us right now, the Dex and Randi Show.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? And just to add on to that, it is a true team. You know what I'm saying? So you guys, you're going to be in really good hands with us, you know, and the way that we support our clients, I would say is one, it's like no other because we truly care. You know what I mean? You're getting a family-owned business. You got me, we got Randy, we got our team. We built this business from nothing, from the ground up. One client at a time, one service at a time. And now we're thriving. Now we got a portfolio that we love, great clients, larger clients than we had in the past. Everything is just going really, really well. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you reach out to us. But listen, it's episode 50. Episode 50 is a big deal because just like anything in your life, right? When you start something out, it just starts with an idea and it's a lot of doubts and you're not sure if you could do it. And then all of a sudden you look back and it's like, it's been a year. It's been 2 years. You know what I'm saying? I had a child. Can't believe that all of a sudden they graduate in college. Like life happens so fast, especially when things are good and you're having a good time or whatever the case may be. But you got to take that time to look back and be like, wow, you know what I mean? So first and foremost, we got to praise God for this, you know, because this all started from me and Randy doing the same thing that we do right now, which is just talking to each other. So y'all might not know the history with us, and I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about the history with us, but one thing that we'll always have, we always talk to each other about everything. You know what I mean? One of the very first things that me and Randy did was find ourselves in a house that didn't have no electricity at the time, no lights, no nothing, and we're laying on the floor with a radio talking to each other all night about
well, hold on.
What's
you
up?
got to put that in context.
Well, go ahead then.
Because that sounds like we were just laying in the house.
Well, put the context on it then.
Okay, so I was house shopping. And the realtor, like, goodness gracious. Okay, So it's a little different now, but back in the day, in the early 2000s, they had a code that they would give the realtor when it came to showing properties. And so the realtor showed me this property and I watched him type the code in. So that's what happened. He typed in the code. We viewed the property. I liked the property. We left. And then later I came back with Dexter.
Is that the context you wanted to add?
Yes. And we was trespassing.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah. We trespassed.
I didn't want to leave that important detail.
So the property, it didn't have any lights or any. No, it had one light on.
Did it?
It had one light in the kitchen.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah,
I just
so
remember
it had the electricity was still there, but there was nothing else. So that was the only light in the house, the kitchen and the bathroom. But anyway, that's what happened, and that's how we ended up in this house laying on the floor because we trespassed.
All right,
we came back.
Well, we don't do that no more.
No, we don't. I wouldn't.
You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't do that again. But I really liked it, and I ended up buying it.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was cool. Look. I'm from Bermuda. Like, I just remember being in the car with you. Being that we're going to go into all the details, I'm in the car with Randy. We pull up behind this car that's going through the gate, and she's like, "Get a little closer." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "What's going on?" As soon as the car went through the gate, she was like, "Go!" And I went, you know what I'm saying? And then I went right through the gate before it could close and everything. But she wanted to show me the house, and we didn't know that it was going to turn into us spending the whole night there. Like, that wasn't part of the plan the first night. The first time, y'all was trespassing for multiple nights. Yeah. But the first night, it was just like, let's go check it out or whatever. But life be full of beautiful surprises where, like, I didn't even know that this woman that I was with was going to be my wife and the person on this podcast with me. I ain't know none of that. I'm just from Bermuda. I got this fine woman in the U.S. that I'm coming to check, and she wants to run behind the car. Cool. So we go into the house, and before you know it, we're sitting down, we're listening to the radio a little bit, but then we're just talking all night long about all types of stuff, just talking. You know what I'm saying? And we had such a good time that night that we came back the next night with a couple enhancements. You know what I'm saying? We was like, let's go do this trespassing, squatting thing again. You know what I mean? But let's bring a couple pillars. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. So we ended up doing it 2 nights in a row and just, again, talking. That's like the base of everything we are, just communicating with each other, vibing with each other, and just talking all night long. We had no TV or none of that. But it was like the greatest time in the world. You know what I mean? That's where I got this soul connection with this woman that I'm sitting next to today. And from there, a big baseline of our relationship has been how much we love talking to each other. I'm from Bermuda. She's from the United States. She's from the Maryland, Virginia, DMV area. You know what I'm saying? And I would be in Bermuda on the phone with her every night, sending the messages throughout the day. This is back when I had a BlackBerry, y'all. So I was like scrolling on the BlackBerry and just giving her updates on my day. And like, just the highlight was we about to get home and talk to each other. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And we just talked. Then there was this one time, just tell y'all real quick. I wanted to talk to this girl so bad that it was this one time a family member of mine, I can't throw their name out there. They know who they are. They were selling iPhones, right? But they were selling like a Chinese version of it. So I was like, I could get the iPhone, but a lot cheaper. So I ended up bought this Chinese version of the phone. Well, within like a couple days, the audio part of it ain't work well. So Randy could never hear me when I was talking. So what I ended up having to do, y'all gonna think it's crazy, but I realized like for her to hear me, I had to squeeze the fan real tight. You know what I'm saying? I had to like squeeze the fan real tight. And all of a sudden she was like, I can hear you. I was like, all right, cool. So if y'all ever seen like some ice tongs or anything like vice grips, anything that you could squeeze together, I literally took these ice tongs, put it on my fan so that it would be more compression on it. And I was literally walking around my house, holding the fan to my ear with some ice tongs. I swear to God, for hours. And that's how much I wanted to talk to this girl. You know what I'm saying? Why you laughing? It's true.
No, I know.
So just imagine just holding some ice tongs with a fan next to your head, talking to this girl in the United States that's just wowing you every second of the day. You know what I'm saying? But fast forward, we come and we had this podcast now, and the things that we always did back in the day were did throughout our lives. We'd be outside talking to each other about everything in life, the good things, the bad things. Again, this is my wife, my business partner, my friend since almost 20 years now. You know what I mean? We did investments together. We made mistakes together. Like we pretty much did everything together. And that's why we could share so much with y'all. about the ups and downs of all of these things that are so important to our life. You know what I'm saying? What I want to add to that is, why are we doing this? You know what I'm saying? Just reflecting, like, why did we do this podcast, yo? Like, why are we even here for y'all? What's this community we've created that we're really trying to grow? Life is hard, but life is also beautiful. Life is good, but it's also hard. And we want to recreate and bring to life the realness of it again, which is both the good and the bad of the things that we go through. Randy's mama, we talked about her on the podcast before, but she used to sit down with me having coffee in the morning, and she used to keep telling me how, you know, Miranda was bubbling. Randy's bubbling. She's got something special about her. She's got a voice. She's got something she needs to say. And she did this for like a whole year and a half. You know what I'm saying? So when she passed, I know a big part for me was I felt like I had to do something for what your mama has seen. So when we started talking about doing this podcast, like I kind of knew that this was it, you know? So I'm so glad that what did this, because I feel like I did my part in doing what grandma wanted. She may never told us to do a podcast, but she saw that you was blowing. She sees the specialness in you, for lack of better words. You know what I'm saying? She could see that you was a star. And I got a chance to be a part of that. And now we created this podcast. You know what I'm saying? Which is dope. What? Wait, what up?
No, I'm just thinking like, I don't see myself as a star, but you know.
But we usually don't. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
Me and her, we used to sit down, you know, grandma would get up early, make the coffee and everything. So you know she's downstairs because you smell the coffee. I'm not trying to make you say it, but it's okay. But you know that she was downstairs because you smell the coffee and everything. And I walk down the steps and I say, morning, grandma. Morning, you know. And we'd sit down and talk. And then she would just always hit us with a random conversation. She'd be like, do you know what they're really trying to do out there in this world right now? This is crazy. Like, it would just be always some random thing. Like, this is crazy. Da, 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 da. But then she was like, look at Miranda. Look what she's doing. You know what I mean? She was so proud of you. You know what I'm saying? So this podcast is in honor of her, in honor of my grandparents. You know what I'm saying? We have similar things where, you know, my granddaddy told me when my great granny passed away, your boy sat there and was like, he always called me Prince Basden. He was like, well, Prince, it's time for you to be king. I looked at him. I'm like, what? Like, I didn't even get it back then, but now I get it. This is our moment in life. This is the turning of the God where we become at the older or the examples for like our legacy. You know what I'm saying? And this podcast, we got to share with our family, our friends, how we feel about them, how we feel about life, share our story with them. You know what I'm saying? And look to impact people in a way that I don't think other people are impacting people. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we did it, yo. And if you haven't followed our podcast, take a listen to any of the episodes, episode 1 through 49, and you're going to see everything in there about the ups and downs of everything that we've been going through in life. I want y'all to keep following us, growing with us. I ain't mean to make you sad, babe. You know what I'm saying? But I'm happy to be here with you because we went from an idea, and y'all, you know what I want y'all to get out of this is believe in yourself, believe in what your purpose is. You know what I'm saying? Take a risk, and you'll be surprised what God could do for you with that little thing, what they call it, a mustard seed. Like, you do your part, and he'll take that couple loaves of bread and fish and make it something crazy amazing. He'll do that for you. He'll take that little bit of work that you're doing and multiply it. If you think about us, we didn't know how to do no podcast. Our mics was trash at first, you know what I'm saying? We didn't know where to start, but now we're here, 50 episodes in, enjoying it, right, babe? So I'm happy to be here with you. What about you?
Woo.
What's episode 50 mean to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, really?
See, now you didn't throw me off a little bit because I was just remembering.
Just being real, though.
Yeah,
But I want to hear that. Like, what is episode 50? This thing means a lot to us. You know what I'm saying? So what is episode 50 with your husband, you know, your long distance lover? You know what I'm saying? You know what she used to call me. You know what I mean? We did this together. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to go there. Like, I'm the same guy in school that when the teacher walked out, I was like, yo, what's the answer for this, and that?
I know, and that's why I'm all emotional this morning.
I know.
You taking me back.
But I want you to go
talking
there.
about my mom, talking about us when we first met. So it's.
But look what we did, man. What's it mean to you, like as a woman, as my friend, to be in here feeling way different on episode 50 than we did in episode 1. Episode 1, I was checking every camera, looking at every light, you know what I mean? Looking at myself in the mirror, doing about 50 belly checks, you know what I mean? Just to make sure it ain't popping too crazy. But like, now it's right. You know what I'm saying?
I'm grateful, but it's almost unbelievable. That's all. And I don't know, I'm very proud of us and what we've been able to accomplish. And with that being said, let me talk about some statistics when it comes to podcasts.
All right. I don't know what these stats are, so I'm going to sit back. I'm going to do my conversation domination like I do sometimes. But yeah. Tell me what's episode 50. What we did? What's up?
Okay. So it's 4 categories. But first of all, I'm going to touch on longevity of podcasts. Many podcasts do not make it past 10 episodes. The phenomenon is referred to as pod fade, where creators stop publishing new episodes due to various challenges. By reaching 50 episodes, your podcast is in the top tier of consistent and enduring shows, demonstrating commitment and a clear connection with your audience.
Hold up. Hold up. Say that again. 10 episodes? Serious? I didn't know that. That's crazy. All right.
The next bucket is industry averages. Most podcasts have an average lifespan of around 20 episodes, and only a fraction reach 50 or more. This achievement sets your show apart as a sustainable and successful project.
I should have let you start with this. I should have let you start with this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And the next one is listener engagement and trust. Podcasts that maintain regular releases and high quality content over time build a loyal listener base. Consistency at this level enhances credibility and creates lasting engagement with audiences. Mm-hmm. And then the last one is growing medium. Podcasting has rapidly grown with over 47% of Americans listening monthly and 34% weekly as of 2024. This indicates a growing opportunity to continue reaching more listeners with your content. And then your 50th episode is not only a celebration of persistence, but also a testament to the value you provide to your audience. It's a great time to reflect on your journey and engage listeners with stories about how the show has evolved.
That's amazing. You know what I'm saying? The show has evolved too. So, you know what I mean? So let's talk about that for a second too, because sometimes when you start something, you have an idea and you're like, well, this is the way that I should do it. You know what I mean? But then when you start doing it, what you're actually doing might be a little different than what you initially set out to do. You know what I mean? So for anybody that's been following us since the first episode of the podcast, this started as the Quiet Money podcast. You know what I'm saying? And very similar to the things we talk about, but it was always focused more on people that are being successful, people that are pretty good with the finances. You know what I'm saying? People that are looking to enhance the business or enhance their personal wealth or to follow their unique goals and dreams and abilities. And we do talk about these things, but like I said a couple minutes ago, after I don't know how many episodes it was, we had to change it. We had to change the name.
The name was misleading.
The name was misleading because really, what were we really talking about on the podcast? We was talking about a lot of things. We was talking about finances. We was talking about business. We was talking about relationship. Me and Randy's been married almost 10 years now, and we've been in a relationship many years before that. And she started out as my homie, like my friend. So we have so much relational and friendship stuff to talk about. We was just talking about the tough times and the good times in life. So we sat back and we was like, well, we got to change the name because this is really just a show. You know what I'm saying? And then we was like, it's the Dex and Randi Show. One thing that you told me and another thing I was doing in my life, but you was like, you're the source. And I was like, well, me and you are the source. Like, I look at us like a power couple for real. You know what I'm saying? And when I look at you, I know you don't feel that way, but I'm like, my wife a star. I've always thought that since I saw you in school. Sometimes, let me tell you, just sidebar real quick. Y'all know what I'm talking about when you see somebody in the street and you could just tell, like, what's up with them? You might hate on it or whatever, but you could just see it like, hold up. The light is shining. Like, one thing about the light, if the light is on, you could see it in people. And I've learned that even with my mom, when my mama's stuff, when darkness comes, like when darkness is in somebody's life, you can see it in the eyes. You can see it in the way they walk. You can see it in the way they carry themselves. It's the same way with people that's walking in light, walking with confidence, walking in a way where it's like, what's up with them? It's something different about them. That's why you caught my eye. I know you think you caught my eye because of all the shape and bang, bang, bang. You know what I'm saying? But that, yeah, but it was something about you. I'm like, who is this girl? You know what I'm saying? That's like what I took away. Who is this girl? Because it just looked like you had it all together. You know what I'm saying? That always caught my eye. Pulled up in your little, I remember your white truck. You know what I mean? Your jeggings. You know, you got your earrings and all that, and your makeup and all that. You're walking all confident. Now we're going to the place, getting the house wine. You're just talking about your little internships and where you're working at. And you was just about business, young, and it just caught my eye because I was still there playing around. I was playing around in school. I was sitting there trying to go out and like, but I weren't about business for real. But you was about something, like you was going somewhere. You could see it, you could smell it. You know what I'm saying? So I always caught my eye about you. But anyway, my wife is a star. If y'all ain't realized that, this is what we can call the episode. My wife is a star. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. I say all that because I realize, you know, going through everything is like me and you are what make this show what it is. And people need to get all of us, not a preset message that we're always tailoring to something. But if we're having a good week, you hear about it. If we're having a bad one, you hear about it. If health is good, we talk about that. If it's not, we talk about that. Word is show, so we had to change it. You know what I'm saying? So we literally changed the name and a couple other components on how we was talking to like match what it really was. And that's like the best thing we did, really. It's like, it's the Dex and Randi Show. Come on this show, you can hear all about Dex and Randi and everything that's going on. And we want to create the community. That's the one thing I'm looking at the next 50 episodes is we want to reach more listeners. We want to reach more people. Like, we want to hear, like, as much as you can learn things from us, we can learn stuff from you. All right. So when we go through things, how do we get through life together? How do we help each other? Is by making community. We want a community. So that's what we really want out of this podcast going forward is we want to see our comments. We want to see our questions. We want to see how you do certain things, how you vacation, how you save your money, how you help your family out, how you get through tough times with your husband or your boyfriend or wife or what. Like, how do we get through life? We get through it together. So if y'all listening, tell somebody about the podcast, help us grow it, because the community piece is what we really want to focus on in the next 50 episodes. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, additionally, I would say we did have a guest on the show. So we opened that up. That was a great conversation. I don't know what episode it was, but
45.
There you go. Episode 45. We had one guest on the podcast so far. That proof of concept's all I needed, because that was an amazing conversation with somebody that's doing something huge in the community. They had a new movie. They're fighting against gun violence. They're looking to be what they are. Let me not say looking to be, but they are very, very impactful in changing lives in very difficult and challenging areas. Where most of us would just send a little donation and go back to our comfy house, they're right in the mix of trying to make things better. So make sure you check out episode 45, you know. But other than that, we're here. Amazing stat. We made it past episode 10. That's a big deal. All the way to episode 50. And I feel like we ain't even really started yet.
And
that's the crazy part. We ain't even started.
We still have a lot to figure out. And then I've decided that, you know how I say I'm going to launch the podcast production company?
Mm-hmm.
I think that will be after tax season. So maybe like June 2025.
Well, I'll talk about that a little bit. I know you don't want to go into too much detail, but that's one of the things we'll learn too, is how to do this thing and do it well. Like, it's all, we had some help with the launch, right? But everything that you're seeing up until episode 50, this is self-created, self-managed. Like, this is us.
Yeah.
It's all us. You know what I'm saying? So give me a little plug on your idea going forward.
So?
A little bit. Whatever you're comfortable sharing. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'll just say, I'll talk about it because it holds me accountable to what I'm saying. So, but when it comes to a business, oftentimes we wait until we know everything and we have everything in place. But I can look on 50th episode and say, you know what? I have produced. I had a little bit of help in the beginning, but for at least 45 episodes, I've produced it. The clips that you see online, I've produced it. The audio that you hear so clearly, I've produced it. The mics that we have, well, no, we chose them. But if I can do it for us, I can do it for others. So I'm looking at it as helping other people who want to get their voice out there. They can do it affordably, maybe. And yeah, so I'm just going to take this skill and I'm going to, but I need a team. So that's the other thing too. I'm not going to be doing it. I'm going to hire people to help me produce other people's podcasts virtually. So anybody can just probably be able to send like an audio file or a video file. And then, my team will work together to put it up, get it out there.
Now, did y'all hear that? She just told you how she's did 40 plus episodes on her end, but she's learned a lot in how we do business with Basden accounting and everything. Like, you need a team. So all y'all out there earning the business, you always want to do everything on your end, all because you have the knowledge on your end, or because you can probably save a couple dollars here and there by doing it yourself. You want to be serious about business, learn the information, create the process and the infrastructure to be able to provide a service or product to people, and then get you a team that you could trust and work with to scale it and grow it. Because one thing, as much as I would love the idea of you, showing other people how to do this and create it and all of that type of stuff, can you do it on your own? You could, but it's going to have impacts to us. It's going to have impacts to our existing business, our podcast, what you want to be as a wife and a mother. So it sounds great to be like, oh, I'm going to do this new thing, but are you going to do it in a way where it impacts other stuff? Well, no. You know what I'm saying? So that shows, I tell you, a star. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna hire.
But you're gonna hire a team.
And I think that when we're starting businesses, sometimes we go wrong with I can do it myself. It's cheaper that way. I keep seeing that fail over and over and over again because you can only do so much. And if you can focus on one thing and let other people handle the other things, I think you'll just be so much more successful. Now, of course, there's some level of review that you have to do, but don't be out here trying to do everything. You're going to drop the ball somewhere. Trust me.
For real. And
it has happened.
And that comfort level of you doing everything, that could also be a reflection of lack of trust in others. Like, you have to trust in business. Like, you have to trust that you can put a team in place to do it. Like, some of us, we have trust issues too. Like, seriously, where it's like, not that I can hire somebody, but I trust myself. I know how to do it. I want to be in control, but being in control, and this is real, but like being in true control doesn't mean that you do everything. Because you might find yourself earning a business, but you're just a worker in the business. You're not even a real business owner. You're not running a business. You see what I'm saying? You're just working in the business. Why do that? You know what I'm saying? Why create a business and just become a full-time employee in the business? That's cool. But when do you become a true business owner? When do you actually look and say, well, like, if you think about it, look at it like this, right? You work for somebody, and I'll just say, let's say the company is company A. So company A is there, and when you come into company A, they hire you, they pay you a certain amount, they give you a certain set of responsibilities. Then you get to your desk or you get on the job and you're like, all right, I'm ready to go. Well, then they tell you what you need to do. Log into this system, get this key card, whatever the case may be. Like, they give you a whole experience and you got access to technology you got to use. You got access to materials that you got to use. You got access to tools that you need to use. Like, there's so much stuff that's there waiting for you to allow you to do your job as an employee, because you're an employee. But the business owner is the one that figured out how to set all of that up for you. You know what I'm saying? They're the one that put the technology in place. They're the one that figured out what materials need to be used and have it available. They're the one that put all the processes in place so they can go and hire people to execute their vision, to execute their process. They're the ones that are the business owners. You're the employee. What happens is, excuse me, when we do it ourselves, we don't spend as much time on the front end creating the business part. We create something and then we come in and we do everything. We're the business owner, but the employee too. So you get burnt out. And it's always a struggle between the two because you got to make your business better. You have a business to run. You're trying to get new clients, whatever the case may be. But how do you do that if you're the same person that has to do all the work? So you get burnt out on either ends, right? You either get burnt out by doing all this work, you're tired, you got headaches, it's not growing, or you get burnt out as a business owner because it's been 5 years, 10 years, 3 years, whatever the case may be. And all these ideas you had, they don't come to fruition at all. But they can't because there's only one of you. You know what I'm saying? So the point with that is you're in a business. Think what do you really want out of it? But I want to encourage all of y'all to become true business owners then. Become true business owners and see what could really happen with your business when you treat it like the same companies that you used to work for as an employee. When you start treating it like, hey, I'm the hiring person. I'm the one that people come to me to utilize what I have in place to make money. But I'm not doing all of the work to make money. That's how it changes. You know what I'm saying? Time for money. We all want to get out of work, giving time for money. But how do you do that? Just think, if you're an employee right now, and this for anybody, you know what I'm saying? But if you're an employee right now for any company in the world, think about what had to be done for you to be able to come and sign that contract and get hired and be able to do your job. It's a whole lot of stuff that's happening. Even if you're selling chicken at Kentucky Fried Chicken, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole world outside of the fact of you clocking in and going into the register and starting to sell a number one meal. Like, the business owners had to think of a whole lot to be able to let you do that. You know what I'm saying? And I think what we're doing is pivoting more to the other side. That's what's happening. And I'm happy about that, but we're pivoting more to the other side. So I'm glad to hear that even with this production company or whatever, you're not becoming a full-time podcast producer. Absolutely not.
No.
We're not doing that, or then me and you would have some conversations. You know what I'm saying? So anyway.
No, not even at first though. Like,
not even at first.
I'm not doing anything on my own.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited about it.
Say, when it comes to trusting people too, we had to take that step this year because all these years I've been doing our books.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you brought that up because I weren't comfortable with it.
Yeah.
For the same reasons I just said. Let's keep it real. I'm like, somebody else about to see how much money we making.
Right.
We're uncomfortable with it.
Yep. But we handed it off.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I kind of started thinking too, like, well, hold on. If people can trust us, we should be able to trust our own employees.
But we weren't though. Nah, we weren't. I didn't want nobody that works for me to do my books.
Right.
What do you think that was though? Just insecurity maybe? Or that's probably not the right word, but like what?
No, I think it's just, I don't know. It's not insecurity.
No.
I think it's trust.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's trust issues.
You know what else? You know what else I was worried about though? I think.
What?
And this is real. We keep it real on our podcast, but like a lot of us live life thinking about how people think of us. So I know that if an employee of mine is doing my books, what are they thinking of me when they see the money we're coming in and what they make? And like, I think I was in this space where like, as long as you know what we're doing business wise, I don't have to worry about nobody thinking bad about me. But opening that up is like, I don't want nobody to think bad about me, but people are going to think whatever they think. And that's a hard thing to overcome. But I know that was part of it for me is like, well, what might somebody think? You know what I'm saying? But that's part of the past now.
Yeah. I dealt with the same thing though before. I asked first and you was like, nah. And then I fell behind with the books because I was sometimes things happen in this software, and like our accountant, when it comes to the accounting software, she's actually better than I am. So she was able to fix some stuff later on down the years. A bit pretty much not down the years, but months later. But I fell behind with our own books, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have to make an executive decision because I can't, I just can't keep up. Because I'm looking at everybody else's stuff and what happens. Oh, Basden accounting, it can wait. It can wait. Let me focus on this client. Let me focus on that client. Next thing you know, it's been 7 months.
And now we're trying to catch up.
And now we're trying to catch up and I'm forgetting stuff. And
you know what else this is going to help us do? So like, if you're your own business owner, we always want to relate things to you, but like you should have your own set of financials, right? So with us, our clients, they get financials from us every single month. And the reason we do that is because we provide advisory, and looking at your actual financials is part of us talking about how things are doing, giving advice and figuring out what we should be thinking about in the future. And of course, making sure the information we have currently is accurate, complete, right? So you need that as a business owner, but we wasn't even taking our own motto and advice, because me and you should be talking more about how we're doing. But how could we do that if our financials ain't been done for 7 months?
Exactly.
So we'll had these sessions, we ain't had one in a while, where we'll look down and be like, let's look at the financials for Basden accounting. And then I get caught up from like January to September. I'm just been working. I don't even know how I did it, but I didn't even know if we're doing well. Like, I know what you tell me. I trust you. You know what I'm saying? But like, are we sitting down like we would expect our clients to, and at least once a month, looking at the financials and be like, well, how are we doing? How are we trending? Like, we should be doing that. So us having someone on our team actually do our financials, it keeps us current. We got information that we could make decisions from, just like our clients need to be. Like, you know what I mean? We got to be advising ourselves too.
Exactly.
And we weren't doing that. You know what I mean? So now that's dope. So we can have these touch points about our financials once we get it right.
Yep. 2025.
Put it. Hey, keep us accountable, yo.
Budget.
Oh, you got a budget for us?
Mm-hmm.
We need that.
I've started, yeah.
We need that.
Yeah.
And also, what do we need to be focusing on? You know, what services are doing better than others? Like, it shouldn't be something that only you know. You know what I'm saying?
It's all up here.
Right. Hey, listen. You know what? Hey, look, for y'all, listen, man, especially more old school guys, you know what I'm saying? Old school business owners. You might, like, there was a day. Let's just vent for a second. There was a day that it was okay to have it all up here, then. That's not where you want it to be at all, okay? The days of everything in your business being all up here, we got to let that go.
And up here being all in your mind.
All in your mind. Listen, man, I don't care who you are, if you're gramps, great gramps, great granny, whoever you are, man. Could be young person, could be old person. You're walking around, you're about to hop in your truck today, about to hop in your van, and you're sitting there, and if somebody wanted to know, well, how the business doing? What clients you got? All you could do is talk. You're in a bad space. It has to turn into documentation. Documentation, done. You know what I'm saying? Got a client, and, you know, I'm just kind of being real because other people could probably relate, but like, you be sitting there, you be crazy, and you be like, well, I did this job 4 months ago, and you're wondering if you got paid for it. And the only way you know you got paid for it is to ask the person who did it, hey, did they pay you? They be like, yeah, they paid. No documentation, no financials, nothing. Just, yeah, they paid. You know what I'm saying? Or here's another one. Here's another one for y'all. Listen, y'all that got services, let's give an example. It's supposed to be $100. You charge $100 for this service. But so you need them to do something for you, and you're like, well, you know, I'll charge you $40 as long as you do this. Let that go too. Let that go too. We're not cheapening our services anymore. The barter system is great for back in the day. You know what I'm saying? But sell your service for its true price point. Let them sell their service back to you for the true price point. But there's no need to mix and mingle and scratch back. I'm going to scratch your back. You're going to scratch my ankle. Like, I don't need to be scratched. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Because you might not realize that even though you got this arrangement with somebody and they're doing something for you and you're doing something for them and now you want to go to somebody brand new with a new price point. And people communicate. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what do you want a business owner or a client of yours to be saying about you to somebody else? We want new clients. We want to grow. I don't want nobody to think I'm the hookup guy, because you can't be the hookup for everybody. So do it another way. You know what I'm saying?
And then the other thing is too, it cheapens your brand.
Mm-hmm.
But then it also, if you look for the future, when I'll give it to you for this price. If you do this for this price, you get in the habit of doing that, but it messes with your cash flow too.
Mm-hmm.
Because just from an accounting perspective, you cheapened your price. You have less cash flowing into the business. And now how you going to pay people? Right. You wonder why you short on payroll. Like,
nah,
you got to be careful with that and let it go. I've made that mistake. I did it a couple times, but the last time I did it, it was with a contractor, and he was behind on his taxes, and his wife was getting on him, and they needed their taxes done quickly. And I gave him a tax return, and he had business, it was a whole bunch of stuff, but I gave it to him really, really cheap, because he was like, I'm gonna come to your house, I'm gonna do this, that, and the other. And I'm like, oh, bet you about to do all this work in my house? Yeah, I can lower the price. Lowered the price, and he ain't never come back. Like every time I would call and be like, you coming? Yeah, I'm coming. He never came. I was so disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Hey, that's crazy. Nah, one last thing before we move on from this here, right? When it comes to cheapening your services, cheapening your brand, doing these arrangements, barter system, whatever you want to call it, we can tell you from our own experience. And this is true. This is with love and just being real about it. Every single time you do some type of arrangement outside of the norm, that's going to be the customer you have the most challenges with. That's going to be the customer that you got to spend extra time with. Like, it should work where the person that's getting the hookup or the arrangement or whatever, that's the easy one. But that's never how it goes. The ones that end up being easier are the ones that you charge full price. They respect you. The information comes timely. Act like the people that look at your price and say, I'm willing to pay you this, they're the ones that the experience from, business owner, the client or customer is actually the best. So trust me, y'all, we've been there. The hookup ones, the ones that you do favors for, they be the ones that end up talking about you at the end of the day. Serious. That's how it go. For whatever reason. I don't know. The end of the Lord knows. But the ones that, and y'all could probably look in your life, but like that friend that you did a little extra something for that you would never do for nobody else. That cousin that you lent some money to that you would have never did for nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Why are they the ones that end up talking about you in the end? But the ones that you stick to your guns with, keep it straight and narrow, like this is what it is, this ain't what it ain't, they be the ones that respect you. They be the ones that give you less issues. But for some reason, the hookup gang, those be the ones that go sour. You know what I'm saying? So take this from the heart. You can ignore it. I advise you not to. But if you want to be successful, like just realize and look at your life. Like when you're bending your brand or bending how you would do things for somebody, those will be the ones that end up giving you a hard time in the end. And it's crazy, but that's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? So we got to stay away from that and be confident in your quality and what you should be charging. Be confident. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna throw no name brands out there, but there's so many people that are probably gonna come to you tomorrow and be like, hey, can you do this for $100 cheaper? What are they really saying to you? Because that same person will leave that moment, go buy a jacket with a certain name brand on it and not care if it's $1 off. So what does that really say to you? But they'll go buy that jacket full price and then come wearing the jacket to you and want a discount. So how are they weighting you versus, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to be confident that I want people to do business with me that's going to weight me just like that jacket. They see my worth. They see my value. They ain't trying to take a percentage off. They're willing to pay me because there's certain people and there's certain things out there that we all want, you know what I mean? That we don't mind paying that high price for because we have a perceived value of it. So don't get it twisted where every single time somebody's looking for some type of discount or hook up with you, they not looking at you with the same value. That is a 10,000% true. Doesn't mean they don't value you, but there's a difference in perceived value or they wouldn't even ask like that. You know what I'm saying? And we've been there. We go get a nice hotel. We go to France or Portugal or something like that. We're going to pay. Now, if we see a coupon code, great. But it's not like we're going to say, well, because they want to give me 50% off this 5-star hotel in France, it ain't worth it. Not really. Like, you know that it's worth it. You pay for it. You know what I'm saying? These name brand clothes and stuff, we'll pay for it. We'll pay $800 for a t-shirt. Why is somebody going to pay $800 for you to do their accounting or whatever the case? You know what I'm saying?
I won't pay
I won't, but I'm just saying, you got to.
Not yet. I'm not at that place yet.
I don't think even if you had it, you would.
No.
I don't even think we're them type of people, but none of the gangsters that are, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure.
But just remember, like, your value is your value. And and last thing, be comfortable. Be comfortable. Real talk, this is real. Be comfortable. I'm gonna say it 100 times. Be comfortable in knowing that the people that see your true value are not gonna be the people that you think should. It's going to be somebody else, though.
You're very passionate about this topic.
Am I?
Going on
I'm serious, though.
No, it's important, though.
Yeah, but I am passionate about this. Just like Randy's passionate about saving $1. All right.
Yeah.
But, yes. Hey, listen. Let's pivot before we even get to this. So it's holiday season. Everybody gets excited about this time of the year. we talked about, I believe on our last episode for like a minute or two, that we was going to have our Friendsgiving. This was my first time ever having a Friendsgiving.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh, serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I never been to one either.
Oh, well, let's chop it up then.
Yeah.
So we had our Friendsgiving. It was a success. And I'm going to let Randy tell you about the planning with the Friendsgiving, what we did, because she was the orchestrator behind all of that. And it turned out really well.
All right. So I wanted to have a Friendsgiving just to get with, well, I would like to host more. And I feel like I always put stuff on the back burner, like, oh, I'll do it next year. I'll do it at another time. So I found like the best thing to do was just pick a date and say what it's going to be. And then I guess it's an accountability thing.
Mm-hmm.
You hold yourself to it. So I wanted to get together with my female friends and their spouses and just hang out. So we decided to have a Friendsgiving. We have a clubhouse in our community. So I rented that out. Oh, and as part of our Friendsgiving, I decided to celebrate our 50th episode, which we are recording right now as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things is that I decided I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money. So we made it a potluck. And then for the clubhouse is really, really nice. I've got minimal decorations. And I'm the type of person where, like, I'm real chill. I don't need to have all the decorations and stuff. And like Dexter say, I'm very I'm financially savvy. So I don't really like to spend a whole lot of money anyway on decorations that's just gonna go in the trash afterwards. Like, I'm gonna be honest. But I appreciate it when people go way all out of their way and and you know, the decor is on point. So anyway, I decided that I was more so going to focus on the atmosphere of friendship and love and just appreciation. That's pretty much what we did. People bought a dish. We had a good time. There was a lot of talking, conversations. My daughter was the DJ. We had the spread was really good. And I liked the potluck idea because everybody came with like their best dish. So the food was well. It was a good time. We did karaoke.
You just said, well.
Oh, yeah, that's the Bermudian coming out of me.
That's crazy. The food was well. I'm sorry. That just caught me.
Yeah. But it was a really good time. It was nice seeing everybody. There was some new faces there because we've made some new friends within the last couple of years. And it was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I had never had a Friendsgiving before, so I didn't really know what to expect. But first off, I love how we found a good balance between celebrating our 50th episode of the podcast, but we didn't create it into a network marketing situation where everybody had to come and watch some clips from the podcast and sign up. And like, nah, we were just very subtle with it. Before we prayed over the food and everything, we just gave like a quick 30-second, a little bit about our podcast and why we're excited to celebrate with everybody. And we had QR codes on like the cookies that we gave out and the drink container. And if you wanted to follow the podcast, you could scan it with your phone and follow it. But we pretty much just let everybody know that as much as we wanted them to support the podcast, we were just happy to have them there and celebrate life as friends and family. So I love the mix that we did because there really wasn't any pressure on anybody to support it. And we don't want, you know what I'm saying? We want like genuine support. So if anybody decided to follow it, great. But if not, they know that we were celebrating our 50th episode. They know a little bit about the podcast, but we just have fun. You know what I'm saying?
Like planting seeds.
Planting seeds, you know what I mean? And I think we did get a couple people follow it, you know what I mean? Or at least was excited to do so. We got one of your friends and his wife said some really nice stuff about like us and like how they thought it was great. And we had some good conversations. So it just felt good to,
it was nice
to see people. And honestly, that's what life is about. Life is about them little moments of us spending time with each other, not taking it for granted that you're always going to be able to do that. So we were able to come together, enjoy each other. The food was good. I love that potluck idea, like you said, because everybody's been there where, you know, son-sis, auntie or whatever is hosting Christmas or Thanksgiving and you go there and it's like, all right, I ain't got to cook. That's great. And then you get there and it's like 10 dishes set up. And only 3 of them is good. You know what I'm saying? You be walking around with a plate of chicken and macaroni and that's it. Because everything else is mediocre, you know? With the Friendsgiving thing, everybody like brought their dish. So all the food, every single item was like amazing. Not even just good, like amazing. So
and
that was dope.
I think we appreciate like that type of family vibe.
Yeah.
As well. Like everybody come chilling, tennis shoes, like just relaxing, having a good time.
Yeah. So, you know, it felt good.
Oh, and I did something different too. I
What's that?
hired a babysitter.
Oh yeah, talk about that. That was dope.
Yeah, I hired a babysitter and she did arts and crafts with the kids while the adults were mingling.
Yeah, and that, hey, look, that I'm so glad you brought that up. I forgot because that's some advice for y'all if you ever want to do a Friendsgiving or whatever. Everybody's got kids. Well, not everybody. A lot of people have kids, and kids are great. You know what I'm saying? Kids are blessings. They're beautiful, but at the same time, sometimes we need to be able to have some adult time. And we're all been there where we take our kids somewhere and we spend half the time or 75% of the time chasing them down, trying to make sure they ain't getting into this, trying to make sure they got their food. And you need had a chance to connect and bond with the adults that are there, your friends, your family, or whatever the case may be. So us having the arts and crafts table set up, all the kids got to connect, sit down with each other. And that just kind of created more organic connection with the adults because we had our own area. We had our own time, you know? And also karaoke. So shout out to my daughter, Mariah. She's a star. So
Definitely a star.
Not only was she doing karaoke, but she was performing. She looked like she had some set up choreography. You know what I'm saying? She was out there by herself, dance moves, singing, walking up and down. Everybody was just like mesmerized by her. But she's always been like the brightest light in the room. You know what I'm saying? So that was it.
So I do like, because I know you said I couldn't spend a lot of money, but I did like the allocation of funds because the arts and craft and the babysitter, like that wasn't cheap.
No.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have did that at one point.
At one point, I've been like, adults only.
Adults only, don't bring your kids, but you, yeah.
I've grown. I've grown, and I kind of think about like the small things that I appreciate. Because sometimes, you can't get a babysitter. You don't want to miss the Friendsgiving, and I'll do it all over again. Yeah,
but you even though you spent a little bit, you're still, and it's great advice for people, but you still decided like if it's better money spent to have an area for kids to do arts and crafts than for all of these crazy decorations and all of that go right in the trash afterwards.
Right.
And nobody thinks about them. But there's kids, they might remember the day that they came to the Friendsgiving and they got to sit down and do arts and crafts and have their own table and own area. So like it's money that's better spent for the experience. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope. Last but not least, because we got to get out of here. Listen, we talk about the ups and downs of life on our podcast. And one of the downs, per se, that we talked about quite a bit the last few episodes or so is us talking about mental health and the challenges that my mother's been going through with like depression and those kind of things. Tying it into the Friendsgiving, listen, man, big thanks to God. Thanks to my wife, who's been everything that I can be in support of my mother. You know, everything that I couldn't do, she did it. You want to make sure you got a good partner in your life? They're the ones that when you're drowning, they pick you up out of the water, they keep you afloat. They're the ones that jump in before you even ask them and see that you're struggling and they help you out. So this whole thing the last couple of years with my mother has taken a lot out of me. Going to counseling on my own, thanks to Randy's recommendation many, many times. But I've started to see more insight in just how much impact my mother has had on me, and this challenge of her not wanting to live and being suicidal. Like I didn't realize just how impactful it was on me until I started going to counseling, you know. But the thing that just made Friendsgiving 100 times better than we could have expected is because my mother is out of the institution, and thanks to God, you know, we're going to pray that it keeps going, but she is the mother that I remembered a lot of it. She's doing better. She came in looking great, makeup, outfit, smiling, hugging everybody. Like it was so impactful that many people that were there were just kind of chatting in the background. Like, look at like that. Y'all just think of this. Like, and I always use that example, but like, imagine you got a cousin or whatever that you know has been on drugs for years, and then all of a sudden you see him at the cookout. And they got a suit on and they smiling and they happy. And you're like, it just was so eye opening. You know what I'm saying? And to have my mother there, she was singing karaoke, having a good time. Like that spirit of life was back in her. The darkness was gone. And it almost, you could feel it in the whole room.
And everybody who was there were true friends.
Yeah. So they know. They know.
And she had people teary-eyed, people crying, just tears of joy.
Just wow. Like just people just like your mama, she looks amazing. Your mama's back. Like, and that made why you ain't cut your fan off?
That's my watch.
You need Randy being flagrant right now.
No, that's my watch.
We try and have this moment to celebrate my mama and she's being flagrant right now. But no, seriously, like, thank you, Lord. Like, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Lord. Thank you, because I forgot what it felt like to feel love from my mama. You know what I'm saying? And
I want to read something that she sent me.
Go right ahead. What I was gonna say ain't that important. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. She sent me this yesterday at 3:48 a.m.
Go ahead.
Good morning. Just need to thank you again for being so generous and caring and supportive of me. I love you very much. You spent so much time talking with me these past few years, and I am eternally thankful. That was beautiful. So nice.
Yeah.
Even at the Friendsgiving, she pulled my sister to the side and hugged them and thanked them for supporting me while I was supporting her.
That's
and
dope,
I thought that
man.
was really nice.
That's dope, man. Yeah, and even after the Friendsgiving, my niece couldn't make it. She was on FaceTime crying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Gigi is back. Hey, yo, when you love somebody and you seen them go through the toughest times in life and they come out on the other side, man, it's something that I'll never forget. And, I know that it could go down, it could go back up. Like, that's what life's about, good and bad times. But it was a good moment. It was a great moment. It was a memorable moment. Having her back and happy, it also opened my eyes to like just how important she is to everybody. The way people were talking and coming up to me separately and be like, oh my God, your mom looks so good. And I'm so happy to see her. And wow. And like, it was just like, dang, like not everybody there is like my friends per se. They like connected to you and stuff, but it felt like everybody cared.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody genuinely cared. And that made me feel good. And that made me feel loved. And I hope my mama felt loved because we've all been here praying and hoping and trying the way that we can with limited skills, you know what I'm saying, to be here. And it's tough to be there for somebody through the toughest times in life. Most of you, if you're going through something really, really tough, you look around, it ain't many people there. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to my mama. I'm proud of you. I love you. I hope that you keep going forward. I hope you keep forgiving yourself for things that's happened in the past and things that you think you've lost. And maybe that one moment at Friendsgiving could remind you of just how much you still have, because we love you and you mean everything to us,
Yeah. Would you let her come on the podcast?
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
One of our listeners recommended that she come on here.
I would. I would. When she's comfortable to do so, but I would, because what talked about it, but her journey with mental health it's still a journey, but I know what she's been through is it will be impactful to so many people and relatable, because we all had different moments. And I think that's a great idea to have her on the podcast. So I'll talk to her about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyway, till next time, y'all, make sure if you enjoyed our podcast today, this is Dex and Randi Show. I'm Dex, my beautiful wife here, Randi. We love y'all. This is the show where we, unlike anybody else, we talk about the ups and downs of life. All right. So make sure if you enjoyed the podcast, follow us, the Dex and Randi Show. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere where you stream your podcast, you'll find us. Leave us a 5-star rating. Leave us comments. Share the podcast. Help us grow our community. You can follow us on Instagram at the Dex and Randi Show. We on TikTok, the Dex and Randi Show. Check our clips out. We love y'all. We appreciate the support. This is episode 50. Till next time. Peace. Make sure you follow the Dex and Randi Show on all platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or on YouTube. Let us know what you're going through. This is the #1 show for going through the ups and downs of life. We want to hear from you, engage with you. Till next time. Peace.